Malcolm X, the man who took a stand out against racism. During Malcolm X's early life, he experienced racism even before he was born. His family was called out and visited by the KKK. This encounter took place in Omaha, Nebraska. However, in Lansing, he experienced a greater act of racism when a racist mob set their house on fire. During Malcolm's time in school was very difficult because he was being moved from school to school. He also had a very troubled youth. Malcolm was kicked out of school in 1938, and then he was sent to a juvenile detention home in Mason, Michigan. Then he attended Mason High School. It was one of the only black kids attending there. He was also very liked by his classmates and was later elected class president. This time in Malcolm's life was a turning point that had impacted him. This event happened in 1939 when his English teacher asked him what he wanted to be. When he grew up, he said a lawyer. Then the teacher said, one of life's first needs is for one to be realistic. You need to think of something you can be. Why don't you plan on carpentry? Having been told this, Malcolm X had found no reason to continue school, causing Malcolm to drop out of school at the age of 15. After dropping out of school at this point in his life, everything is just going downhill. Then Malcolm moved to Boston to live with his half-sister Ella, and she had landed him a job in the shoe-shining business at the Roseland Ballroom. However, Malcolm became involved with the city's crime, where soon he was selling drugs. He fell even further to a life of drugs and crime. This phase of Malcolm's life came to a screeching halt in 1946 when he got arrested on charges of larceny and was sentenced to 10 years in jail. Malcolm thinks about his errors and picks up a few things in his time in prison. During his time in prison, Malcolm read constantly, him going to the prison library getting books. He was also visited by multiple of his siblings which had joined the Nation of Islam, a small sect of black Muslims who embraced the ideology of black nationalism. Malcolm entered into the Nation of Islam while in prison. These people felt that black Americans needed to have their own state away from white Americans. Upon his release in 1952, he had abandoned his surname Little, which he considered a relic of slavery. He changed his surname to X, which was a tribute to unknown names of his ancestors. Now a free man, Malcolm travels to Detroit, Michigan, where he has started to work with the leader of Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad, to expand the followings of black Americans around the country. Mr. X became the minister at Temple No. 7 in Harlem and Temple No. 11 in Boston, while also founding new temples in Hartford and Philadelphia. Articulate, passionate, and naturally gifted, Malcolm X advised blacks to cast off the shackles of racism by any means necessary, including violence. You don't have a peaceful revolution, he said. As militant principles, a violent revolution to establish an independent black nation. Won Malcolm X huge numbers of followers, but also many fierce critics. Due to his efforts, him from a mere 400 members at that time was released from prison in 1952 to 40,000 members by 1960. In the early 1960s, Malcolm X presented an alternative to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s vision of a racially integrated society achieved by peaceful means. Dr. King was highly critical as what he viewed as Malcolm X's destructive demagoguery. Malcolm has done himself and our people a great disservice, King once said. Most frequently, by carrying on many sexual affairs, Muhammad had in fact fathered several children out of wedlock. Malcolm's feelings of betrayal combined with Muhammad's anger over Malcolm's insensitive comments regarding the assassination of President John F. Kennedy led to Malcolm X leaving the Nation of Islam in 1964. In 1964, the same year he left the Nation of Islam, embarked on a trip to the Middle East on a catharsis. It was a spiritual and political turning point in his life. He learned to place the American Civil Rights Movement within the context of a global anti-colonial struggle, embracing socialism. Malcolm X made the Hajj, the traditional Muslim pilgrimage to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, which he converted to traditional Islam and again changed his name to this time to El-Hajj Malik el-Shabazz. After his epiphany at Mecca, he felt less angry and more optimistic about the prospects of a peaceful resolution to America's race problems. Tragically, just as Malcolm X appeared to be embarking on an ideological with the potential to dramatically alter the course of the civil rights movement, he was assassinated. He died by 3 gunmen rushing in when he was about to start his speech. They were all members of the Nation of Islam: Talmadge Hayer, Norman 3X Butler, and Thomas 3X Johnson. Malcolm X was one of the best civil rights movement's leaders. He helped do the Nation of Islam a great favor, and he stepped up for Muslims and African Americans everywhere.
We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.